I have created and shared many plans on making different sized planter boxes, and today I am sharing my thought process and insight so you can quickly and easily quote custom projects to your customers. An easy way to expand your Picket planter revenue is to offer custom builds, and by no means does it have to be a planter box. It's how I landed a $2,000 shed build, and recently I built some people a nesting box, which are for chickens. No, seriously, chickens. Here is my general rule of thumb. For every Picket I use, it costs the customer $10. I buy them for between $3.28 and $4.99 depending on time of the year, so my labor follows the general material times 2 rule. For this video, we're going to stay in the planter category. So let's say somebody is going to order a 3-foot wide, 6-foot long raised garden bed. There's a reason my boxes are built to the sizes that they are, mainly stackability. Now, Pickets are 5.5 inches wide, 72 inches tall, and unless I'm building the planter bench, this top 2-inch dog-eared section is going to get cut off. So in reality, I only have 70 inches to work with per Picket. Dividing your Picket is one way to get an easy answer. Take a look at a few of my plans and you will see that the long pieces are cut first, and then I fill up the rest of the board with smaller pieces. Sometimes I even cut a piece before ripping that Picket down for the legs. And the same thinking style is applied to ripping boards as well. 1 3/4 is my go-to. It gets you 3 pieces per Picket. 2 3/8 is for anything larger, like that last raised garden bed we had made. It's just a little bit wider of a Picket, gives it a little bit more strength. And 1 1/8 is pretty thin. I've never used this per se. It would barely cover up even the top lips. I've never used a 1 1/8, but it's an option. Let's get back to our customer. So they're wanting a 3-foot by 6-foot raised garden bed, so they're going to want it up off the ground. So my first question to them is, how high do you want this garden bed to be? My suggestion would be between 32 to 35 inches tall. With that is going to be your standard countertop height. So bar height is taller. Countertops, like in your kitchen, 32 to 35 inches is normally where they're going to be at, a comfortable level to where you're not bending down. 35 inches is the largest that I would suggest going. They want a 36. Yikes. I'd push for 35. So out of a 70-inch board, I can get 2 pieces that are 35 inches. And then if I divided that down the center for my 2 3/8, yikes. 2 3/8 is what that number is. At the 2 3/8, I can get 4 legs for each Picket I'm using. Each corner is going to require 2. That's how all my boxes are. 8 total. I would need 2 Pickets for the legs. So we have the legs figured out. Now we're moving on to the sides. So the side pieces, I am going to be looking at, again, being 3 foot. I would make my Pickets 35 inches long, but they wanted it to be 36 inches. 3 foot, 36 inches. Yep. So once I add on the 5/8 boards on the outside, I am over 36 inches. So I would be on an outside measurement because, again, at 35, I can get 2 pieces out of each Picket. So that being said, I'd have 2 for each short side. So each side is going to take 1 total Picket. So now I'm at 2 Pickets for the sides. We should probably start writing this down. 2 Pickets. Legs. 2 Pickets. Sides. Okay. I'm really filling it up. For the long sides, I would make them 70 inches long. You can leave your dog-eared sections, but I think that just makes the whole project look a little cheap. Having those butted in there, you're going to be able to see them. They're going to know it's fence Pickets at that point. We're trying to hide that in a way. I think it looks pieced together. You may do so. You can also, if you're making an even longer box, you could try to add a bracing piece to butt the 2 boards together, but that's going to be a very weak point in the side because it's not a full-length piece. So being 70 inches long, you're going to need 2 of those per side. We have 2 sides, so 4 Pickets for the long side. Everybody done taking notes? I'm going to erase some of this. This whiteboard is so much nicer than my stuff I have on my garage door, and that's because this is like smooth and slick. The garage door one's not, so you have to spray it with stuff to clean it off. And this, actually, the erasers work. It's the little things. Now we need to think about the structure of the box. We need to add a lip so that the bottom boards have some support, for all the dirt weight. I would cut a treated 2x4 down since it's the cheapest structural addition we could make. A thin strip of cedar would work if the box was a little bit smaller, but because of how large the box is, I want to have a little bit wider of a lip and also something that's a little bit more sturdy than just a little 1 3/4 piece of cedar. One 2x4 is enough to get the strips for the side and the center bracing. You can rip the 2x4 down to 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and have the remaining piece for the center support. Or you could rip a 2x4 in half for each side and use a whole 2x4 down the center. You don't need to add any support to the sides. It would only really be supporting that single picket on the ends. So one single piece of 2x4 down the center will go the distance. I don't care how far I can go the distance. I always run my bottom boards in the direction that they are the shortest. Cedar is very porous, and a board is structurally weakest when it's laid down and supported from only the very ends. To find out how many bottom boards we're going to need, you're just going to take your total length, so 70 inches. You're going to divide that by 5.5. That is how wide the pickets are. 70 divided by 5.5 is roughly 13. So you're going to need 13 pieces to get the bottom slats built. And because they are that 35 inches, you get 2 from each picket. So you will still need about 7 pickets total with a little bit of scrap to get the bottoms done. If you guys wanted to add an additional support leg to the center, you could do so. I don't like the look of it. It's starting to kind of look like that big gray machine thing from Star Wars. I've never seen the movie, but I just don't like the look of it. And one little sliver of cedar is not going to add that much structural support. You could, however, add a piece of 2x4 to the dead center underneath, so it's attached to this piece of 2x4. If you wanted to do that, it's less noticeable. It's on the inside. It is holding the mass amount that it could with the dirt weight. However, if that's not touching the ground or it's on uneven ground, For a box of this size, I wouldn't bother with trying to put that decorative lip on the top. People try to pick the boxes up from those, and again, with just how heavy this box is, it's going to blow the top right off. And with just how massive it is, if those boards do decide to shift or move, it's going to be much noticeable on a board or a box of this size. Now, if you wanted to put a lip on there, again, you do have 70 inches and 35. So in reality, you should be able to do it with one picket. So if I had 70 inches, I ripped it down, bada bing. I trimmed this guy, boom, trimmed him. That would be 70. I trimmed this guy and this guy, again, to my 70. And then I should be able to cut this guy to 35 and 35. So you could realistically do it with one picket. It's going to be a little close. Otherwise, you would be using a picket plus an additional sliver. So that way you had a larger overhang off of the box so it wasn't so close to the actual sides. For this puppy, I would definitely use TRX screws, especially on the legs so that they have support. 2 for each leg where it goes together into the side, and then also 2 in that other side so everything is just screwed and tight together. You really don't need to worry about it so much for the bottom boards because the dirt weight's going to be pushing down on those, and since they are nailed and glued into the outer board, they don't really require any additional support. I would maybe go ahead and add a few TRX as well, just down those long sides, just so those pieces don't decide to come out and everything falls down and you have a bigger mess. Because if your box fails in about 3 months, not only do they have a broken product, they also have a bunch of dirt, ruined flowers, and everything else that they've got to deal with. So they're going to be pretty pissed. So this guy needs to be over the top built. So I would go ahead and just add screws everywhere. As for mapping out a cut diagram, all you do is just draw your pickets. I don't have them with the dog ears on there. This is how I usually draw them when I'm on the whiteboard. So I'm going to need 2 pickets for the legs, and that is going to be divided down the center, a little bit cut off. That's my 35s, and they are 2 3/8 wide. Pickets for the side, 2. Again, I have a cutoff, and then I have 2 pieces that are 35. 4 pickets for the long sides. Cut that little bit of waste off. They are 70 inches. And then I'm going to take 7 pickets for the bottoms, which again, a little bit of waste, and my 35. So I don't have those. That's just all waste to me. That is my project. That is the number of pickets that I'm going to need. So 15 pickets total. And then as far as your 2x4s, you'd have 2 options. You can do just a single, which is that 1.5 center. And then you have that 3/4 and 3/4 for the side bracing. Or if you wanted to upgrade to use an entire 2x4, what am I doing? 3.5 is going to be for the center support. You could rip this center one down to be 1.5 and 1.5 for just a little bit added support. Not a bad idea. $4 investment. You get a little bit stronger of a box. I would almost go with that one, just so that way, again, you don't run into any troubles down the road. As far as what to charge, you guys could gauge that just on the amount of time, resources, what it takes you guys to get out there and build these. 15 pickets, it would be the blanketed $150. I might go ahead and just charge them $200 because of the size, and that raised garden bed that is a lot smaller is $120. It almost doesn't seem fair to add $30 to get this much extra work. So this one I would probably bump up to $180, $200. Plus I do have these, and I have a ton of TRK screws going into this. That is what I would do. I'd probably be at, I'd say $180, $200. Or sell it a little bit cheaper, knowing that it doesn't really cost you that much to build it. What am I roughly? Let me see. So I'm pretty much looking at right around $70 to build this box. I'm charging $200, getting a pretty dang good profit. And it'd take you about an hour, 2 hours in the shop to make this if you were rushing it. So there it is. If there's one thing that I'd like you to remember, it is to ask for a deposit. Now, asking for a deposit, you can just have them come down to see the shop. You could have them come down to look at some boxes, some different sizes, some different options, anything to pull them in so that they can hand you some cash beforehand. Because if you make this box and they don't come to pick it up, you may have trouble moving it later or to something of that nature, so especially if it's a custom build for some wacko size that they have at the house. This one, probably not that difficult. It's a pretty stock thing. People ask for them. But if that is not the case, ask for a deposit. Have them bring something to you. If they are truly serious about buying this product and having you build it, being somebody locally that's making this project, they will have no problems doing that. And if they flake out when you bring them to that attention, just know they probably would flake out before coming and picking up the product.